Ooh, sounding crispy. Whoa. Sounding a little crunchy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't break. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you've been watching our videos recently, you know that we're working on a 1998 Toyota Tacoma rebuilder here, but we're actually going to be putting this build on hold because we're still waiting on some parts and figuring out what to do next with that thing. So in the meantime, we're actually going to start a new project right here. It's actually not a new project, it's an old abandoned project that we tend to have around. This is a 2005 Toyota Celica, or Celica, or celery, whatever you Americans say. But this is it's a sports car basically that we've been rebuilding. We started a long time ago, and as you can tell, there's a lot of dust on it. We haven't been working on it in a long time. So it is time to get these old abandoned projects done and out of here, because as you know, they're taking up space in our shop. So yeah, it's time to get this sucker out of here. So basically what we're gonna do first is pull this thing out. We're gonna organize a few things in our shop. We're gonna dust this thing off, clean it off, and see what we can get done on it. So let's get to it. Alright guys, we got the Celica all pulled out and nice and cleaned off. We tried to clean it off as best as we could, but this dust is just caked on this car and we could not clean it off. We would pressure wash it, but of course the interior is all open. Otherwise we definitely would give this car a nice pressure wash, but whatever, we'll do that later. But first, I guess we can give a bit of context. How did we end up with this car, and why did you get it again?
I always had this idea of making aftermarket parts, like fiberglass aftermarket parts on cars, and Nissan 350 or the movie cars, right?
Oh yeah, all the sports cars and all those.
Yeah, so I always wanted to make those kind of body parts myself and try it out. So I came across this wreck here. It was just a couple $100, but it was rolled. It was a lot of damage on it, so I picked it up pretty cheap.
Yeah. And you already actually repaired all the damage, because that quarter panel had a big dent in it, but that's all fixed and it's actually already in primer, which is nice, gives us a nice head start on this car basically.
Yeah, that's as far as we got. And then we actually managed to get this one fender built.
Yeah, this is actually a fiberglass fender.
Yeah, like this is one, we actually made this. And then I designed this bit of a scoop in here just to make it look special.
Yeah.
Just following the body line along like that.
Yeah, and it looks so good you hardly even know that that's not actually original. It looks original, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I was really surprised how well it turned out.
Yeah, this one turned out amazing.
This turned out.
It fits in so perfectly, the gaps
and everything. It took a bit of trial and error to get there. So we already tried on the other side one time. And from that, I learned, like, we have to account for the thickness of the fiberglass and the shrinkage and all that kind of
definitely learned a few tips on how to make these things easier.
Now we have to try the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, because this other side actually doesn't have a fender yet, because of course we tried and failed. So now we have to make another one.
That's right. It failed. Like it actually looked okay. I'll actually show it to you.
Oh yeah, we actually still have that. It's right here. This was our first attempt, and it ended up not working too
just
great.
some of the problems, like there's all breakout right here. We had lots of air bubbles, and the edges were bad, and some of the gaps, it didn't fit very well on there at all because I didn't think of things, right?
Yeah, but from that we learned how to make a better one. So that's what's on the left side is the better one.
Yeah,
so yeah, we can actually show you the mold here that we made for it. This is what a mold looks for a fiberglass fender. And this is for the left side? This is,
the one that turned out.
This is the good one, our modified mold.
So that's the good one, and then this is the one that we're redoing?
Yeah, we are redoing the failed attempt.
Yeah, so you can actually see the original fender inside here.
Yeah.
So you see all this metal in here, and then here's where we made a custom scoop.
Custom scoop made into the actual sheet metal.
So we have to pop this apart. And take it's called the plug mold.
Yeah.
So we have to take the plug out of there and then trim it up.
And then we'll make it look pretty like the other one.
Yeah.
And then it'll be ready to make a part out of it, basically.
Yeah, hopefully that works out, and then we'll have 2 molds.
Yeah, and that'll be perfect.
So that's the first thing that we're going to do to get onto this project and get it back going again.
Yeah.
We were that far, and then I don't know, for whatever reasons.
Yeah. A couple things came up.
Yeah, other things came up, and then we just kind of dropped
the
it for
car.
about a year.
Yeah.
So now that we're at this point, we want to get this finished, wrapped up, and get this car painted and running on the road.
Yeah, so we're going to first start off by probably tackling these fiberglass fenders here. So let's just start by trimming up these fenders, and yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright guys, we got the main mold here. This is actually the failed mold, but of course this was a good piece still that we managed to salvage. Basically what failed were these flanges, but what we learned from those flanges is that we needed to put more dowels and hole alignments, and that's what we did here. If you look on our new parts, our new flanges, you can see the corresponding dowels that fit in there and make the mold fit together nicer. That should help us make a nice part for this car. So basically what now we're gonna do is put a mold release over each individual part, and that will help us take it apart easier. And then once that mold release dries, we're gonna be spraying a gel coat into the mold, and then that will basically give you a nice finish on the outside of your fiberglass part. So yeah, let's get spraying. it is a brand new day and the gel coat is all nice and dry. So now it's ready for the main part, and that is the actual fiberglass thing inside the mold. We're gonna be laying some fiberglass cloths, and that's what we got going on here. We got some pre-cut fiberglass cloth parts that will fit the fender perfectly, and it makes it a lot easier if it's pre-cut, so you don't have to cut as you go. So we'll just be layering the pieces in there, and then we're gonna mix up some resin and brush the resin in there as we go and layer it up, and hopefully it'll work out. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, it's actually the next day already because last night we spent an hour glassing in this fender here, and now it's all done. Basically, I did actually time-lapse me and my dad putting all it in. It took us a lot of work, about an hour's worth of work, but the time-lapse failed and I kind of lost all the footage, so that kind of sucked. So yeah, basically it's all done. So I guess we're just gonna skip that part, and now we're going on to the fun part, and that's actually taking the fender out to see how it turned out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the mold apart and see how it is. Ooh, sounding crispy. Whatever. That's a little aggressive. Well, there's the part. Of course, the flanges are still on the edges, so that's what we're gonna take off next. Check this out, we got the whole thing out and it looks pretty good actually.
Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah.
Not as nice as the other one turned out, but we were having problems with that edge.
Yeah.
The edges all the way around. Mm-hmm. But we can work with this.
Yeah.
See how this, all the mold release comes
yeah,
off.
it has like film on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty satisfying to peel off. But yeah, these edges.
This turned out really nice.
That's actually really nice. That black is just a little bit of leftover residue.
Yeah, and then you can see where you have to drill the holes for the fender mounts.
Got little indents for your bolt holes, so basically. So yeah, so we know exactly how to line it up when we put it on. I always love how good this white finish looks because it's like actually smooth and pretty nice. So now we're just gonna trim it up, right? Yeah, trim up the edges.
We're gonna trim the edges, saw all the edges off with the air saw. Mm-hmm. We'll sand all the flash edges from the mold.
All right, and then it'll look really nice and pretty.
And then we'll take a look and see what we got.
Yeah, cool. Take a look at this, guys. We just quickly mocked up the front end. We threw on a bumper and a couple headlights, and it looks pretty good. It lines up really nice, actually. This bumper we actually took off of our parts car that we had for this car we were repairing. Yeah, this bumper we managed to actually salvage. Had a little dent when we pulled it out, and we'll definitely be able to make something out of that. As for these headlights, these are actual aftermarket headlights we already bought for this car a long time ago, and they look really cool. It's definitely going to look nice when this car is running. As for this fender we made in this video, that's awesome. We made this from scratch. This fender turned out amazing. Fully fiberglass. Now we have a pair of fiberglass fenders on this car. That is awesome. And it turned out pretty good. The only thing that really happened was a little blowout right here on that edge, but we can just putty that up. Now that all these parts are on this front end's actually coming alive, and I think it's going to look pretty cool once it's all together. I originally actually didn't really like how this car looked, but I don't know, I might change my mind once it's all together, you know? So yeah, basically the next thing we're going to be doing on this car is actually a bit of painting. We're going to have to paint the inners of a bunch of parts, and then once that's done we can start assembling some stuff. And then once it's all assembled, we'll actually be painting the entire car with a nice bright silver with lots of metallics to make this car really pop. And that will be later on, of course. But for now, we're going to end this video here. Subscribe, stay notified, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.